What is up, YouTube? We are back and ready to go. News updates. Puka Nacua. Week to week knee injury. Keep an eye on that. See what his ADP falls to, where people are taking him in drafts. Cooper Kupp on the thumbnail. Should be on the rise. Demarcus Robinson, sleeper to be on the rise. Other news for training camp. Brandon Ayuk, still trade rumors, still trade talks. Looks like the Niners will not get rid of him for draft compensation alone. They'll definitely be looking to get a player back. Braylon Allen, top backup on the depth chart. Rashad Bateman, injury to his midsection. Tyjae Spears, Tony Pollard listed as co-starters. Okay, kind of what you figured. That's what the coaches were saying. Bryce Young may not play at all in the preseason. For someone that I think needs the reps with new receivers and a young quarterback, I don't know how I feel about that. Other news. Harrison Butker signs a deal. Not that anyone cares. But aside from that, Jordan Addison, hearing scheduled for October 7th. So looking like he will not be suspended, at least for that first part of the season. May not be until next year, honestly. And then news out of Bengals camp. Trenton Irwin, Andre Yoshivas, Charlie Jones, all vying for that wide receiver 3 position. Jermaine Burton's in the mix too. It could be a wide receiver 3 by committee. Obviously, most of the targets are funneling towards T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Aiden O'Connell, Gardner Minshew, each going to play a quarter. Looking like Minshew is starter as of now. He looked better in their inner squad the other day. DJ Stroud going to play. Geno Smith was back at practice. Zach Moss, lead back. All right, so there's no new drafts on Underdog, and as you guys know, or may not know, I'm not a baller, so I don't enter drafts that are over $10 unless it's the marathon. I'll do a $15. And we won't be doing the Eliminator this season. So we're going to hop into a weekly winner. And we did a weekly winner on the last stream, actually. I know I said I was going to be streaming, every night. That hasn't really gone to plan, as there haven't been enough drafts or tournaments for what we drafted, unfortunately. So we will be getting some weekly winners in. We have 3 so far. Let's take a look at those. We'll actually take a look at the last one we did. This one right here. So it ended up in the 10 hole when your RB to an extent with Devon Achane, and we go Garrett Wilson, Achane, Neighbors, Smith, Flowers, Mixon, Ingram, Samuel, Hopkins, Spears, Mike Williams to get the double stack with Aaron Rodgers, Ty Chandler, Jalen Wright, Noah Fant, Daniel Jones, Tyron Tracy, Javon Baker for New England. Now, we go the 2682 build. One thing that crushed me last year were injuries in my weekly winners, especially at quarterback. I had a ton of Geno Smith, and while he wasn't injured, he sucked. I did have a few Aaron Rodgers teams as well. We all know what happened there. So looking like this is filling up. We have 2 more spots. Hopefully we get a good position. As you might be seeing on the left, ADPs will be a little bit different than your normal Underdog drafts. You're looking for higher ceilings. Spoke about it in my last draft. We got pick 8 here. Spoke about it in my last draft of my strategy going into this year for weekly winners versus last year, where I'm looking more towards kind of correlating divisions. As we all know, right, in divisions, AFC East, NFC, whatever it is, last time we drafted a lot of AFC East players, it's because they get 2 games a year. And if you're correlating that to the better divisions that are going to more than likely have higher scoring games, where you have the Jets, the Bills, and the Dolphins all in the AFC East, who are supposed to be above average to good teams with high scoring offenses going up against each other twice in a season. So you're getting a bunch of potentially high scoring games out of these teams. And they would hopefully be doing it players wise in that game. So that's my correlation take on it. You can obviously just draft randomly and not correlate. It's just so much harder to hit. And the data that I consumed last year from the winners was that team correlation obviously really matters. A lot of people would draft a bunch of players from the same team, because if you get a pop-off week from like the Dolphins where they scored 70, you're in the money already. But even then, it's just harder to hit in this when you're basing it purely off luck. Obviously, you can say that for your redrafts, or not redrafts, but your other underdog tournaments. But this more in particular, because you're looking for one singular week to win $20,000. So, again, correlation is really big here. Pick 8. I'd like to grab AJ Brown if possible. AJ Brown, one of my top receivers this year. Bijan and Brees falling. Hopefully he does not go AJ Brown. He goes Brees. We're going to go Brown. Hopefully we can stack that with Hurts. Hurts is 35 ADP. We're up in 32 slot. I'm sure a ton of teams are doing the same thing. Now, one thing you could do is reach on Devonta Smith at 17. But if you don't get Jalen Hurts, not the greatest outcome. So now we're more looking towards NFC East teams that we could stack up. The Giants, the Commanders, and the Cowboys. Which probably... we could go Barkley, but I don't know just how great that would be. Barkley goes, so not an option. So no one really around here that's in the division that we would like. Obviously CD goes real early, and then the Commanders players are all later. So we'll look to get running back here. People down on JT with AR quarterback. We'll just take him there. Falls a few picks past ADP. Could have a big game. So now we're looking towards AFC South teams as well as NFC East teams. So we would have Commanders, Giants, Cowboys, Eagles, along with Texans, Colts, Jaguars, and who's the last one I'm missing? I'm stuck. I can't think. But that sets up ourselves up for like Diggs, tank down. We have options. We do indeed have options. Man, who else is in that division? Tennessee, that's right. Yeah, I don't know how I could forget, considering I think I took D Hop and Tajay in my last weekly winners. I bought the dip on D Hop at like pick 100 something. Which, where has he fallen so far, especially in this? He's fallen all the way to pick 98, so not that great of a value, I guess. Won't need surgery 2 days ago. I'll take him again. He falls far enough. Let's look at this board. Kind of moving slow. MC Evans, CD Lave, Hill Samuel, Chase Henry, St. Brown Cup. Ooh, one thing we can do too is kind of look and see when these teams play. So, Colts schedule. So the Colts play the Giants. The Eagles schedule. One other strategy you can do is look at Vegas lines and look week to week because they have all the lines out already on over unders, and you can look at high scoring, potentially high scoring games. We're on the clock. We need to just go Hurts and get our stack down. Could have went ETN to pair with JT if they have a big game, but we're gonna go Hurts just to get the stack. Like I said, the Eagles do play the NFC South, so they play the Bucks, Falcons, Saints. They play the AFC East or AFC North, so they're gonna play the Ravens, Steelers, Browns, Bengals. So we do have potential there. Like a George Pickens, Amari Cooper, Neighbors. I did go Neighbors in my last one. Diggs. Dell. Do we buy this dip on Malik Neighbors here? Hopefully he, I mean, I will buy the dip unless he goes. If he goes, it makes it a little easier on us. Michael Pittman goes. We could have stacked up him and JT. Okay. Go to 1-1-1 build. Hurts, Taylor, Brown. There's potential here to only go one quarterback. Neighbors off the board. McBride off the board. We're gonna go Amari. Again, the Eagles do play the Browns. The Colts don't play the Browns. Play the Steelers. So trending a little bit away from my strat there. I'm gonna go T. Higgins early. Not super early. So start so far, we go AJ Brown, Jonathan Taylor, Jalen Hurts, Amari Cooper. Set you up for like Deshaun Watson later. If we want to go second QB with a QB that does have some upside, especially rushing wise. Again, one thing we noticed last year, tight end, elite tight end, not the biggest concerns to win. And it's more about that team correlation. So with Amari too, we can go Jerome Ford late. Yeah, Jerome Ford. I mean, potentially Jerry Jeudy. We have Njoku as an option. So we're on the board between these two here. Do we go Kirk? Do we go Zay? I'm gonna lean towards Zay Flowers. We'll take Zay there. Again, the Eagles do play that whole division. So that sets ourselves up for that game, along with 2 games against Cleveland this year. Whereas if we go Kirk, he gets 2 games against Jonathan Taylor. But the Jags don't play Philly. And I don't think the Jags play the Browns. They do play the Browns, actually. So that was a potential there. Which we still have a shot at Kirk here. Kirk goes, no shot there. We could go Ridley. Ridley is the only one. In this range, in this division. So we're going to go Calvin Ridley. So now we have a 1-1-4 build. Jalen Hurts, Jonathan Taylor, AJ Brown, Amari Cooper, Zay Flowers, Calvin Ridley. Setting ourselves up for Deshaun Watson and David Njoku hopefully later. And then looking for Pollard or Spears. See, the Titans play the Colts twice, obviously. And the Jags. We don't have any Jags players. So nothing really special there with that Calvin Ridley pick, but we kind of get put in a sticky situation where it's hard to build these NFC East teams with a lot of the elite guys going early. There's still potential for like Brandon Cooks later. Jahan Dotson. The running backs there, Eckler and Thomas, or Robinson, I mean. I like the build. So we go receiver, running back, quarterback, receiver, receiver, receiver. It's nice to lock up that elite quarterback versus our last build where we have Poo-Poo. We have Aaron Rodgers and Daniel Jones, which not a lot of teams are going to have that. Jaden Daniels off the board. You get a little run at quarterback there. Dak, Jaden, Brock. For us right now, we're kind of free to do whatever we want. We do need a running back. I don't like Aaron Jones. Chris Godwin goes. Not really a fan of any of this whatsoever. We're just gonna go Christian Watson there. No correlation there really, but I am high on Christian Watson this year to get him past ADP. The one thing too is building something kind of unique towards this where you have something different, but at the same time trying to get your guys. Hopefully we can get Najee back to us, correlate with Cleveland, Baltimore. Again, still looking to build a Deshaun Watson and Njoku squad. Maybe we actually reach on Njoku. No, it would be a slight reach. I don't know if Njoku makes it back to us. Hopefully he does. We go Christian Watson. Maybe we should want Najee, so we don't have to reach it on Njoku, but not reach. We would have won Njoku anyway. Hopefully he does fall to us. All these teams have tight ends. This guy really needs running backs. Next guy up has 2 tight ends. What is this? Kittle, McBride. Can't imagine these guys are gonna go tight end here, but I don't know. Stevenson off at 84. Just don't think there's real upside. He can be an efficient running back. Najee goes. Hopefully we can get Warren here, is what we're looking for. Moss off the board. That would have been our pick after Warren. Dobbs off the board. Give me Jalen Warren. Please give me Jalen Warren. Would have liked to go Njoku here. We should have went Harris with that pick. McConkey goes. We do need running back. Where are we coming back around at? 104 and 113. We're going to go Njoku and hold off on running back. Because we can still get Jerome Ford, Nick Chubb, Tajay Spears. All the running backs we want are all back around. Obviously, Jalen Warren's one of those, but at tight end, I really wanted Njoku there. So that works out well. Bowers off at 92. So far, we go AJ Brown, Jonathan Taylor, Jalen Hurts to start. And then we rip Amari Cooper, Zay Flowers, Calvin Ridley, Christian Watson, David Njoku. So we start out pretty balanced and just immediately eat receivers off the board. Whereas it looks like a lot of these teams are keeping themselves balanced. The only teams that aren't are like Team 2 is kind of in the same boat with us. One running back. Team 3 goes 4 straight receivers and has 2 quarterbacks already. But everyone else pretty much goes early running back and has 2 RBs minimum by now. The last team as well, kind of in our boat. Now this lobby is a little more stacked. A couple badges in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Compared to the last one, which had like 2 or 3. But this is shaping up to be a nice team in my opinion. Getting sniped on some things. Warren falls all the way to pick 98. To the team that has Jacobs, Swift, Warren. So we're up in a few picks. A Dunze falling like a rock. Tajay, Tony Pollard listed as co-starters. Brian Robinson already off the board. Nick Chubb already gone. Come on, folks. Jonathan Brooks goes. We're going to go Tony Pollard. 6 picks past ADP. Stack him up with our Calvin Ridley share. Maybe they can have a big game against Indy. Chase Brown off the board. Gonna look to go either Shaheed off the board, Jerome Ford, or double down with Tajay. We do have a chance at Eckler here. Could go Goddard. No, we really need to go running back here. Spears goes, so it's looking like Ford. We'll go forward. When do the Browns play the Eagles? October 13th, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, week 5. Doubt Nick Chubb plays by then, so we do set ourselves up for the Eagles-Browns game where we have Jalen Hurts, Jerome Ford, Amari Cooper, David Njoku, AJ Brown, and then we're going to take Deshaun Watson. So we'll have Deshaun Watson, Jalen Hurts, Jerome Ford, AJ Brown, Amari Cooper, David Njoku. Super wish that Dallas Goedert drops to us and we can get like that whole game. Hopefully that's something there. Let's see. Okay, ESPN Bet doesn't have anything. Let's see if Sportsline has this. Dallas Goedert's still sitting there. We're looking at week 5. Let's see what we have total points wise. What? Is it week 6? Sorry, it's a week 6 game. Total points. Goddard does go at 121. Total points for Browns Eagles is 46.5, so a little bit above average. Could end up being a high scoring game. The other high scoring games, like that's one of the higher scoring ones in the week besides Cowboys Lions. So I do like that. We're coming up to pick 128. We're a 1-3-5-1 build. And we're going to set ourselves up with Brandon Cooks. And hope that Zeke falls, and if not, we still have Rico Dowdle available to us. Kirk Cousins off the board. Pretty far ahead of ADP for someone that has what, Bijan Robinson. So pretty confusing on that one. Oh, he has Drake London. Never mind. Oh, it is Brandon Cooks now. 30. Zeke does go 132. Not going to make it back around for us. Looks like we will go Rico Dowdle. Did Jerry Jeudy already go on this? Jeudy does go 127. I hope that team doesn't go. They might go Deshaun Watson. We might have to stick Deshaun Watson here. I don't know if I can trust that team for 2 picks. Running back wise, because if we don't get Deshaun Watson, I have to go Will Levis. And I want to make sure we get Deshaun, so I'm going Deshaun Watson there. I don't trust this guy after us. He has no quarterbacks, and he'd be shooting for like Baker Mayfield, Russell Wilson, Geno Smith. I'm just going to play it safe and get him. Just for that game, because we need that game. And we're just going to have to figure it out at running back. Highly doubt Dowdle falls all the way to us. So running back wise, we're going to be looking at Tyler Algier, who's supposed to have a role in the offense still. At this point, we're not worried about stacking anything up. Musgrave goes right at ADP to a team that is random as hell. Dowdle's still falling. Now this guy has 2 running backs. Has 2.271. I highly doubt he goes. He goes Dowdle. So Dowdle off the board. We have Josh Downs on the board. We're gonna have to go Tyler Algier. If he even falls, this guy probably takes Algier. He goes Mooney. Is it the guy with Kirk Cousins? No. Now he has 8 receivers. I don't like the upside of Josh Downs. He goes anyway. Hopefully we can get Algier. If not, we'll go one of these guys. So we'll go Algier. Just for the sake of running back. In terms of like, I don't even know. We're just throwing darts at the board for some of these tight ends. We're gonna come back around to pick 161. Right now we're at 2461. We don't need a quarterback. We need at least one more tight end. Obviously, in some of this stuff too, you just need things to fall in place, right? Obviously, there's a strategy behind what we do. We built off the Eagles-Browns game, and we're still kind of correlated for like Cleveland and Baltimore with Zay Flowers. And then a little bit with Tennessee with Pollard, Ridley, Indy with JT. We have slight correlations, but we pretty much built around this Eagles-Browns game, hoping that Nick Chubb is not back by then. So that would give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players in that game. And that's week 6, which also at the same time, as you see, we have no one with a week 6 bye here. That's huge for us in terms of point potential. Do like Jalen Wright. Hawkinson goes. That was going to be our pick. We'll take a shot on Wright just because not gonna help us week 6, but we just need, if someone goes down, we need somebody. Marcus Robinson off the board, as we talked about earlier, trending upwards. Cooper Kupp team with Matt Stafford. Conklin off the board. On the way back, we're gonna hope to get like Ben Sinnott. We're back on the board at what? 176 and 185. Okay, we're good at quarterback. Our receivers are stacked with AJ Brown, Amari Cooper, Zay Flowers, Calvin Ridley, Christian Watson, Brandon Cooks. On paper, super stacked up. Could look for someone like DJ Chark, just like a one-off. It's gonna be tough. Jermaine Burton resumes practice, but he's getting beat out on the depth chart, potentially by Yoshivas, Irwin, and Jones. Don't like to see that. Ray Davis is a potential candidate for us. Just looking down the board, I don't know what we could do. Can I just take a flyer on like Will Shipley? Our move here. Vidal not getting first team work. Bateman falling because he got hurt. Chark was off the board. What do I want to do here? Do we just take someone that's in a good offense? I think we do. We're just going to take the guy that's in a high scoring offense. Hope for the best, as we already have Cleveland and yeah, we have Cleveland in the mix. Tyler Boyd is someone else we could have looked at, especially with the DeAndre Hopkins injury. This is tough. So we have room for 3 more guys. Looking for 1 more tight end at the minimum. Hopefully going to be Sinnott. And then we kind of have room to do whatever we want. This guy might go Ben Sinnott. Do you have any correlation there? Not really, but he needs somebody. And if he does go there, there's still Chig and Jonu. I'm not high on either of them, but I just need a week. Ray Davis off the board at 181. Our running back room's kind of in shambles in terms of upside. Now, obviously, if Bijan gets hurt, Raheem Mostert gets hurt, Devon Achane gets hurt, Tyjae Spears. We need some things to fall into place for us for this team. Chig goes to that guy. Okay, so we'll be happy taking Ben Sinnott here. Sinnott. I'd be happy just taking 2 tight ends there. And working with one more running back, one more receiver, 2682 build, like our previous ones. We'll just see how the board falls. I'm probably going to take a late round flyer and Shipley. He ends up beating out Gainwell. Jalen Tolbert goes. Marvin Mims finally off the board. Justice Hill goes, as he said Harbaugh said Justice Hill's viewed as like a starter. Obviously not worried about taking guys that don't correlate super well to our team. But once you get down here, it's more of just one-offs. Team projected not look sturdy. Not that that matters really. So we started off receiver, running back, QB, pretty balanced. Then we go receiver, 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 tight end, running back, receiver, quarterback, running back, running back. The reason we reach on Deshaun Watson is this guy has Jerry Jeudy. We assume he takes Watson here or here. He ends up going Geno and Baker. We prefer Deshaun Watson this year. Then we go Algier right, Burton, Sinnott. Get some correlation with Cleveland and Philly. Again, only one player has a week 6 bye, and that's when Cleveland and Philly clash, which is perfect. Because now you get max potential for points. The one thing to look at is if you are correlating for a certain game, certain 2 teams popping off. This one just so happened to be Philadelphia versus Cleveland for us. But if you are going that route or just so happen to end up in that boat, you can start looking at bye weeks and which ones will actually know what week that team's playing, and then you can look at bye weeks because you want the most amount of players available that week. Obviously for maximum upside. So players falling. And not as much players falling as it is just people getting their guys. So we're on the board. Do we go Yoshivas and Burton together? Something's telling me yes. We'll put those together. We'll get Shipley last. Don't be afraid to be a little weird. Get your guys. Get your correlations. Don't get stuck looking at the top of the board. Just because Kamani Vidal says ADP 170 and we're pick 202, yeah, obviously it screams value. But what if Vidal doesn't even play this year? What if he doesn't even do well? What if he does nothing, right? And then you got him for no correlation and he does nothing. This guy goes 4 quarterbacks, goes Jordan Love, Kirk Cousins, Justin Fields, Drake May. He is not in tune with his quarterbacks. Interesting stacks going on here. Again, we go Burton and Yoshivas for the sole fact that we got Cleveland in this, we have the Ravens, and then at the same time, we have the likelihood that one of them wins the wide receiver 3 role. If Higgins or Chase were to go down, if Chase goes down, Higgins assumes Chase's role. Then we get Burton and Yoshivas, maybe Irwin mixed in, but worried about him as wide receiver 2 or 3. And then flip where you get Higgins goes down, Chase stays the same, and then you get Yoshivas bumped up to probably like Higgins' role and Burton stays in the slot. Bang. Again, take players on good offenses, and hopefully they get chances to score. But we will go Will Shipley here with the last pick, just to correlate with our Eagles. So we end up with a 2682 again to cap it off. And we end up with Jalen Hurts, Deshaun Watson, Jonathan Taylor, Tony Pollard, Jerome Ford, Tyler Algier, Jalen Wright, Will Shipley, AJ Brown, Mari Cooper, Zay Flowers, Calvin Ridley, Christian Watson, Brandon Cooks, Jermaine Burton, Andre Yoshivas. That rounds out the receiver room. And for tight ends, we go Njoku and Ben Sinnott, whatever it is. Correlate for the Philly-Cleveland game, which is happening week 6. We only have one player with a week 6 bye. The rest of our correlation kind of lies with the AFC North. We were originally going to go with AFC North, we were originally going to go with an NFC East build with the Eagles. Nothing really aligned for us in that route. Luckily, I think, hold on. The Eagles do play the Ravens as well. Because that's who plays this year is NFC East and NFC East and the AFC North play together. So you do get the Eagles stacked with Baltimore. And then we also get the Eagles stacked with Yoshivas and Burton. Some things we could have done better. Instead of going Christian Watson, we probably should have gone Najee or Zach Moss for running back. Just to feel a little more comfortable and better about our pick in David Njoku. And it correlates better. Again, looking back on it, Zach Moss probably would have been the play the way we built out Cincy. Giving us more room for like the Philly Cincy game. But again, you're looking back, nothing you can do there. Aside from that, the only thing I would change, again, you could say Chase Brown instead of Tony Pollard would have been the move. Those would be the only two I would say it should have been done differently. And they happen kind of right around the same area. They happen in pick 8 and pick 9, where we should have went Moss for Christian Watson. We still get Njoku coming back around. We could have went Brown. Or Najee and Brown. But we just didn't know how the board was going to fall. That's just kind of what happens. It's the reason why we reach on Deshaun Watson, is to make sure we get him for the game. If I didn't go Deshaun Watson, I end up taking Rico Dowdle anyway, which doesn't correlate the best with our team. So not too upset about it. Obviously some one-offs on like Algier, right? But not a bad team by any stretch of the means. I think there's potential there. We'll live with it. Still no new tournaments. Hoping for a $3 or $5 one to come out soon, which it should, as the eliminator is about to fill up. That only needs like 500 more contestants. They're just trying to get some of these things filled up, especially like the marathon sprint. Which if we're getting close to the season and these aren't that full, the G here means that this is guaranteed money. So the prize pool they put in is guaranteed. Whether this fills up with 150K entrants or not, same with this 22,000 entrants or not, it's rolling. So your odds increase by so much, especially in this, where it's just cumulative scoring weeks 1 through 17, similar to the site called Drafters, which I just heard about this year. But basically what it is, you draft in your 12-man pod, but then from there on out, there is no pod. It's just you versus every other contestant in this, and you're just trying to maximize scoring through the whole week, all the weeks, which is kind of similar to just like a sit and go or a one-off tournament here, where it's the rules here are weeks 1 through 17, highest score wins money. It's that, but tournament style. So instead of just 12 people facing off or 10 people, it's however many enter. And if it's less than 150,000, well, prizes go to all the way to the 23,000th person in this, and they get double their money. So right now we're only at 32,326 entrants. Say this only fills 3/4 of the way. We have about 5 weeks till the season. 3/4 of the way puts this at what? What's a quarter of 150? Like 37,500. So say this fills to like 112,500. Your odds so much higher to get into the money here, where you could put yourself at 23,000 divided by 112,500. You look at 20% shot at getting to that, whereas right here, right now, if it were to fill up, you have a 15% shot. So that's that on these ones that aren't filling fast. That's about to be done. Never gonna enter that. I won't say never, but not until I'm sponsored by Underdog, I'm making money. This will be full soon. I expect a draft to come out tomorrow. This will probably fill up the next day or two. Weekly winners is almost closed. They'll probably come out with a second one. Maybe not though. Who knows? But yeah, this was a great stream. Fun draft, definitely different, interesting. I love to keep it fresh, keep it weird in terms of who we're picking. Appreciate you guys for stopping out. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, comment on the video. Get our channel growing. Hopefully we can provide you with some insight on what we're building, what we're drafting, why we're picking people, especially in the different tournaments that are run on Underdog. If you want to join us on Underdog, there is a link in the description below. Code Temptation, TEMPTATIUN. Temptation. That's my gamer tag. It's what I play video games on, in my Discord and everything. Obviously not Fantasy Spitters, but I wasn't going to make a whole new account for this. So that's my account. That's my code if you want to join us and play on Underdog. I would definitely love, if we get bigger, to do some of these 6-person, 12-person drafts with the community. If that doesn't happen, we are going to try to stream consistently before the season. It was supposed to be every night. We're still trying for that. Hopefully around like 6-7 p.m. kind of like today was. Sometimes in the morning. We try to notify everyone. But if you want to draft with us, you'll get 50% deposit match up to $250. So if you deposit $250, you'll get $125 extra. Gives us a little sum too to play with. Just $10 into our account to play with. Not sponsored by them or affiliated by any means, or any drafting site or any gambling site. You will get your own code if you sign up, and you can use that code with your friends. If they have not signed up, you can reap the rewards too.